Welcome to video number 2. We're here in sunny Wanaka, lakeside, right next to Transition and the Expo. One day out from the race, but first I want to show you what I've been getting up to this week. Good afternoon, just sitting lakeside, Sunday before the race. Just got the last session boxed off. It was a bike onto a run, both on the course, which is stunning. Time. 2-hour bike into a 1-hour run. Some race pace efforts in there, so I did 3 times 20 race efforts on the bike, and then just did 4x3k on the run with a little bit of float in between, just to see how I felt running around the course, getting the nutrition in. Did it in the race suit and then had a nice dip in the lake afterwards, so that's all boxed off. A week of taper now, well, six days of taper, just having some fun around Wanaka. We've got a mountain bike planned, a few bits and bobs. I think we've got a few museums here. A place called Puzzling World, which is a nice little museum of illusions, so I'm just going to chill out, have a bit of fun, and yeah, get ready, get rested for the race on Saturday. Ready. Thanks. Cleanest it's going to get, that, I think, without taking it off. Nutrition wise, I'm going to bring your attention to something called Hive Energy, which is a nice local New Zealand brand. As you can probably tell by the name, it's honey based. So yeah, I'm just going to be using this for the race. I had 12, so I've tested 5 already. They're really nice. I think a lot of people like the taste of honey, so yeah, those are what I'm going to be using. Yeah, so it's a natural product, so it's not got a lot of chemicals and crap in, which a lot of brands have. Probably easier on the stomach. Nice kind of consistency to it, so it's not too heavy, not too thin like a liquid, so it's got a good consistency to it. Standard amount of carbs in these, so looking about 30 grams. Really light as well, so it's 35 grams to carry, so yeah, nice little help if I had it the right way. Nice little 30 grams of carbs, so I'll probably take between maybe 2-3 on the bike, and then I'll pack 3 on the run just as a spare, just in case anything goes wrong on the bike. So yeah, all in all, probably around 6 or 7, depending on how I feel. But you've got one too.
Not one of these.
No.
What number are you?
130.
130.
Yeah.
Didn't you realise we don't have a pro shield?
All the gear, no idea.
Well, it's a good looking idea.
Position, I think. Right on the end. Oh, what a position. Hey.
Ooh.
Straight out.
Oh yeah, it's on the car. Yeah, but there'll be cars taking.
Yeah.
Don't think it's the same now.
No.
The window. The window.
So how you feel?
Yeah, cooked. Absolutely cooked. So one day after the race, what a day, what a course. Got second in my age group, 4th overall on the day. What we're going to do, we're going to break it down, see how the day panned out. First of all, we're going to start off with the swim. Wasn't really confident with the swim based on what I'd been doing. Back in the UK, back at home, I'd probably do 4 4 to 6 sessions a week with the squad I trained with here. I've been doing it alone 1 to 2 times a week since we got here, so it's not been as consistent, so I wasn't really hopeful of getting a PB, or I probably expected to get worse based on how swimming is. So absolutely buzzing to say that I've got under 30 minutes, just over 29, I think it was 29:03, which again absolutely buzzing with. It was meant to be a beach start, but on the morning they realised the lake was quite low, so what they did is they did a deep water start, which was interesting. First deep water start I've done personally. All the age groupers in one, so it was a mass deep start as well. Bit of a washing machine, first experience of that, so that was interesting. But yeah, absolutely buzzing to get out under 30 minutes based on where I was at. First 500-600 meters, it was an out, going away from the sun, which was absolutely fine. I was kind of on my own for the first 500-600 meters until we hit just before the first buoy. I latched onto a faster swimmer who came past, got on his feet, probably stuck there for the rest of the swim really. Really glad I did though, based on the buoy back into the swim exit. As soon as we turned that buoy, it was sun in the face, gleaming off the water. We couldn't see a thing at all. So if I hadn't have stayed on his feet, I probably would have come in 3-4 minutes down on what I did. So yeah, I must have sighted like 3 times on the way back. I was just probably following the bubbles in front of me. Yeah, fair play to the guy in front of me. His sighting must have been on point. As I say, I probably sighted about 3 times on the way back in, just because of the sun and the glare. First experience of that, so it's obvious that something needs to get better, needs to get more practice in for that. Probably the last 400 meters he did put in a little bit of an effort, which I held on to for dear life, if I'm honest. It spiked my heart rate quite high, so I came out of the water with about a 170, 180 heart rate, which was way above where I wanted to go, but I think it was probably worth the risk at that point. But yeah, then we got onto the bike. Relatively short transition area. Hopped on the bike, straight out onto the bike course. Past the quicker swimmers. Probably maybe like 3 or 4 in the first 10 minutes. I'm sure I wasn't the first on the road though, as I know there's some quick bikers in that front group as well. Really undulating course. I think really stunning though, really tough. I think there was around, on a 3-lap course, maybe 24 kilometers of flat ground. So I mean, there was no massive climbs, no massive hills, but it was, as I say, really undulating. I think it came out around 1100 meters of elevation. Really good course, really fun though. It went really quick because of the concentration I had to hold through that. I think I'll say that it's probably the most fun I've had on a bike course in triathlon so far. Whether Race Ranger had a part to play in that as well, that was quite fun, which I think I'm going to do a separate video on later in the week, which will kind of break down how that was. But if we move on from that at the moment, I think probably on the second lap I got caught by a lot of the faster bikers who didn't swim as well. Couldn't hang on to those were way too quick for me. Probably came out of the bike around 6th position. Didn't have many splits on the course because I think that the tracking wasn't as good as people wanted it to be. I think for spectators following the tracker, it wasn't the best on the day, so I had no kind of recollection of where I was at that time. Really quick transition for me. I think I was second quickest in the age group field of transition, so came in really quick, everything set up nice and smooth, straight onto the run course. I'll start by saying on the run, it had pretty much everything in. It had the hills, it had a bit of gravel, It was mainly on a bike trail, so I think it was pretty loose gravel. It wasn't the fastest course, but again, it was really, really fun. I probably biked a little bit conservatively, just for the run and the pacing plan I had on the run. I wanted to hold around 4:05, 4:10 kilometers for the whole run. Started off quite well on the flat section, out on the gravel path. Probably got to around 6k in about 4-minute Ks, and the plan was to come back on the hilly section nice and slow, take it really easy, and probably bleed some time that I can make up in the end. But I think on the second lap a few things got to me. I think the heat was one of them. I think an old calf niggle was tightening up, so I probably played a little bit conservatively towards the end of the run. And just at the start of the second lap, I was told that I was around 6 minutes behind the next age grouper, so probably wasn't going to catch him unless he had a massive blow up. And behind me, I think I had about 3 minutes, and I think he was running slower than me as well, so I could probably play it a little bit more conservatively and not kind of tear my calf or anything like that. So I wanted to get back in one piece and continue the season injury free. I probably haven't done as much endurance runs as I'd like to in the lead in, so maybe that's an extra step in the next training plan. It's just a shame that I think the run course was 1.5 kilometers long as well, which didn't help. I think when my watch was saying 21.1 and the finish line was another 6-7 minutes away, I think mentally that hurts. But yeah, overall it was good enough on the day to secure a second in my age group and fourth overall in the age group.
Have Harry Russell in place Lou.
I mean, to put it in perspective, the pro race, which they didn't have, but they had some invitationals. They basically weren't racing for any prize money. I think it was more of a season starter for them. Mike Phillips, I think, or some of you will recognise the name. I think the fastest run, which was him, was a 1:22, which, I mean, if we think for someone like Yelagines in the World Championship, I think he was 1:05. So he's 17 minutes behind. So I think that gives us a good perspective of how hard this course was. Same with the bike. I think only 3 people got underneath a 2:15. I think I probably need to look at some faster courses to make me look better, I think. That brings me to the last thing I wanted to say about the race. I can see why it's definitely renowned as one of the world's best in terms of the scenery and the settings and the course as well. And I definitely recommend it to anyone travelling across the globe, or if they're in this part of the world and they're looking for a race to do. I think it's a really good setup, and yeah, to get it on your calendar. So what's next? Haven't got any immediate races in the pipeline. I've got some later in the year, September, October, in Australia. We've got Noosa Triathlon lined up, which I'm really excited for. Maybe another race in the middle of the year, June, July. But yeah, really focused on training at the moment and getting better at the sport that I'm doing. And that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and keep an eye out for the Race Ranger video at the end of the week.